President Bollinger, Dean Goldman, Dean Freed, distinguished members of the faculty, honored graduates, family, friends, guests, welcome to the 2010 commencement ceremony for the Mailman School of Public Health. Today we celebrate a commencement, a beginning, but we are also forced to acknowledge and mourn a loss as well. Cynthia Felix, a master's candidate here at the Mailman School of Public Health, a colleague, a friend, and a loved one, lost her life tragically early Saturday morning in an automobile accident. She was known to many of us and was a part of the cohort that celebrates commencement today. We cannot go forth with this otherwise joyous celebration without acknowledging her passing. Cynthia represented that which is so powerfully present here today. She was part of and contributed to the diversity that is the Mailman community. In the face of that diversity, the traditional prayer that is often offered as an invocation in many graduation ceremonies is not part of the tradition here at Mailman. We rejoice instead in our diversity by acknowledging that we are of many faiths, we are of many cultures, many traditions, and many beliefs. And thus, the spirit that we invoke is our commitment to the highest traditions of public health, the commitment to work to ensure that health is recognized as a fundamental human right. And wherever possible, we commit to work to create the conditions that will make that right a living, breathing reality. That commitment, that dedication, is what brought Cynthia Felix and many of you to the Mailman family. She will never realize the work that she came here to do. She will not take up the task that she dedicated her life to complete. So in this day when we celebrate new beginnings, when we celebrate a commencement, let us keep her in our hearts and make her struggle our own. And to the graduating class, may you find success, fulfillment, and most of all, joy in the bright future that I know lays ahead for all of you. Welcome. Dean Freed, I present the graduating class, 2010 Mailman School of Public Health. Thank you all.
Good afternoon. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to the 2010 commencement ceremony of the Columbia University Mailman School of Public Health. Please join me in welcoming our friends on the dais, including distinguished colleagues, invited guests, and especially Mrs. Phyllis Mailman, President of the Joseph L. Mailman Foundation. And please join me as well in welcoming our distinguished guests in the audience, including members of the Mailman family, our Board of Overseers, Mrs. Claire Rosenfield, and all Mailman School alumni who joined the procession today. We are thrilled that you are here with us for such an important celebration. And now, to our graduates. From where I stand, it's a big wow. It is quite a view from over here. All of us on the dais are taking in what appears to be a veritable sea of joy. The joy expressed in your eyes and in your smiles and on the faces of your families, your friends, and your professors. So today, as we honor you and recognize your achievements, we also honor your family, friends, and professors who have done everything possible and occasionally the seemingly impossible to help you realize your goals. Class of 2010, please stand up, turn around, and show them just how much their support meant. And to our graduates, you have demonstrated that you thrive in an environment that cherishes free thinking, scientific inquiry, critical analysis, respect and inclusion, responsible and ethical decision-making, and intellectual hard work. You have demonstrated that you know that when it comes to public health, there is no them, only us. And you have demonstrated that you are ready to engage the public health challenges of our day and the global health challenges of our century. Take the next steps in your journey with the same energy, determination, and optimism that brought you to New York City, to Columbia University, to the Mailman School of Public Health, and here to Commencement Day. We are all so very proud of you, and we will continue to expect fabulous things from you. Congratulations to the Mailman School of Public Health class of 2010. It is my deep honor now to introduce President Lee C. Bollinger of Columbia University. President Bollinger became the 19th president of Columbia University in 2002. He is one of the country's foremost legal scholars on free speech and First Amendment issues. President Bollinger is recognized as a visionary in leading Columbia University to create itself as a truly global university, while strengthening at the same time our ties to our city and our bonds with our neighboring communities. He is one of the most important champions of this Mailman School of Public Health. He recognizes the leadership needed from public health science, scholarship, and translation into impact to improve our world. President Bollinger.
So first of all, congratulations to all the graduates, and welcome to their parents and families and friends. We gather today to celebrate the remarkable achievements of this class of 2010. Let me return the thanks and recognition to Dean Linda Freed, who has been an outstanding dean for the past 2 years to make the Mailman School really one of the stunning schools of public health in the world. So thank you very much, Linda. And let me also pay regard to Dr. Lee Goldman, Executive Vice President for Health and Biomedical Sciences and Dean of the Faculties of Health Sciences and Medicine. Lee Goldman joined us also just a few years ago from the West Coast and has brought tremendous energy and focus and order to Washington Heights. Thank you very much, Lee. I'm also very pleased to welcome Mrs. Phyllis Mailman, a very close friend of all of us here, and the Mailman family, her son Josh and his wife Monica, and her daughter Jody, and her 2 daughters, Joanna and Olivia. In 1998, Mrs. Mailman and her 2 children made the extraordinary commitment to Columbia to name the school in honor of her late husband, Joseph Lawrence Mailman. Phyllis and the family, thank you very, very much. So I'm going to have my chance at the podium when we gather tomorrow for commencement. So let me just say very quickly a few things. You definitely have your work cut out for you. For all the progress we've made in public health in recent years, there are many others that continue to grow and need your attention. After decades of political battles, we finally have achieved a version of healthcare reform that says what seems so obvious and yet has taken so long. Reform that says that health care and quality health care is everyone's right in this country, not just for a privileged few. I know that some of our guests today, and one guest in particular, understands as few do just how remarkable it is that the political stars finally aligned to take that step in the United States. But what we make of that opportunity here at home and in the years ahead, and how we address the enormous public health challenges we confront across the globe, will depend in large part upon you. We already know of your commitment. Public service is not only a professional goal of your coming here, a goal shared by thousands of students across the university, but it has been an essential part of an education at Columbia and nowhere else more so than here at the Mailman School of Public Health. You have a dean and you have an institution that are dedicated in the most fundamental ways to applying the interdisciplinary knowledge of a great research university to the most important real-world problems facing our society here and abroad. There is no field I can think of that has more opportunity to affect the lives of more people than public health. And I think of you as really privileged to be part of that, and I certainly honor you for the choice to pursue the education and the roles that you have. I can also think of no better person to address you today as you embark on the next steps of your journey than former President Bill Clinton. President Clinton is not only our uptown neighbor, but a friend who has become a regular part of the public dialogue on our campus each year. The last time he was with us, just a few months ago, it was for World AIDS Day, supported by the William Jefferson Clinton Foundation. It was down at Lerner Hall, and quite appropriately led by our own remarkable Dr. Wafa El-Sadr, who is director of the International Center for AIDS Care and Treatment Programs here at Mailman. A few years earlier, I had the privilege of sharing the stage with President Clinton and Václav Havel, who had a residency on our campus. In his impressive and energetic post-White House life, President Clinton has made global health a central feature of his work and of the work of his foundation. From leading the fight against HIV/AIDS to making enormous strides in environmental protection efforts, to advancing education and employment opportunities for children and adults around the world, as well as his extraordinary leadership in global disaster recovery efforts, President Clinton has demonstrated just how many acts there are in a life of public service. Some people in our lives hold a very special place in our imagination, and I think President Clinton is one of those few individuals. And for him to have led all of us in thinking about our responsibilities to the world in the ways that he has is a great, great act of leadership. May we all be blessed with the same endurance, dedication, and determination to change the world as we would wish it to be. So for tomorrow, I hope to see you there. I hope it doesn't rain, and if it does, we will amend the agenda and do it much more quickly. But it's great to be with you today. Thank you very much.
So it is now my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Lee Goldman, our Executive Vice President for Health and Biomedical Sciences and Dean of the Faculties of Medicine and Health Sciences. Dr. Goldman is an extraordinary leader in the world of academic medicine and an internationally recognized expert in health outcomes research. He has a Master of Public Health degree as well as an MD degree and holds faculty appointments in the College of Physicians and Surgeons and in our Mailman School of Public Health, where he is a professor of epidemiology. We are so fortunate, and I say that on a daily basis, to have someone of Dr. Goldman's stature informing, overseeing, and supporting our efforts and goals. It is my honor to welcome a true friend to the school, and to me personally, Dr. Lee Goldman.
Dr. Freed, thank you. Dr. Freed, President Bollinger, soon to be here President Clinton, distinguished faculty, graduates, family and friends of the class of 2010, or as I've learned recently, 2K10 to be more modern. My remarks will be brief because, as you notice from your program, I am sandwiched in between two presidents. I can't tell whether I'm supposed to be the turkey or the ham. I'll try to avoid being either. Let me just say, as Dr. Freed indicated, that I also have a degree in public health, and that public health degree has greatly influenced the way I look at the world, and it's helped reinforce my moral compass as a teacher, a researcher, and a provider of direct medical care. The link between the medical care component and the public health component of our system needs work. Dr. Freed and I have been working very hard together for the past 2 years to develop models that we hope will help inform you and your successors as we bring these two fields more closely together so that the benefit of each can be complemented by the other. For those of you who may follow basketball, I used to be taller. You know the NBA playoffs are in high gear. And for years, one of the superstars of the NBA was Karl Malone. Why do I bring that up here at the graduation? Well, some of you may remember that Karl Malone had a nickname. He was called the Mailman. He was called the Mailman because he always delivered, much like the Mailman family has been so generous here. It didn't matter how difficult the circumstances were. It didn't matter how limited his teammates might seem. He got more out of the team, and they did better. Well, graduates here of Columbia's Mailman School of Public Health are also renowned worldwide because they always deliver. They deliver domestically, they deliver globally, they deliver in research, in teaching, and in public service. Now, today as you graduate, this very big space is almost at standing room only. Lots of people are here to welcome you and to participate in all things you've accomplished. But we know in public health we don't always work in the spotlight. Sometimes we work in places where we're lucky if there's any light at all. And what's very special about public health is that regardless of the circumstances, regardless of who's watching, regardless of whether anyone is there to applaud, people in public health do the right thing. They make the world better. We know you'll continue with this wonderful tradition of using your skills, your energy, your dedication, and your education to deliver the best to humanity here domestically and worldwide. Congratulations to you all.
And now, it is my extraordinary privilege to introduce our keynote speaker and this year's recipient of the Dean's Distinguished Service Award in Public Health. Since leaving the presidency and starting the Clinton Foundation, President Clinton has redefined the field of global health, offering visionary leadership towards innovative and comprehensive approaches to some of the most complex and life-threatening problems our world faces today. Problems that require both leadership and an understanding that some changes and some benefits require all of us acting together on each other's behalf. President Clinton's groundbreaking work in climate change considers the major sources of greenhouse gas emissions, as well as the people, policies, and practices that impact them. His rapid intervention after the earthquake in Haiti, and now ongoing long-term work in Haiti, has saved countless lives and alleviated unbearable pain and suffering. His aspirations are fueling a vision for a Haiti rebuilt better, equipped to harness the resilience and the indomitable spirit of her people and the strength of her culture and natural resources so that she may build back better and compete successfully in the regional and global economies. Indeed, our students and faculty working on the ground in Haiti have all told us that it is President Clinton who is setting the pace for an accelerated recovery driven by an effective deployment of resources and his dream of what can be for the future. The reach of the Clinton Foundation and its impact on global health is, in a word, extraordinary. Whether it is marshaling support for the treatment of AIDS in developing countries, providing cataract surgeries for underserved populations in Peru, enabling farmers to plant millions of fruit seedlings in Rwanda, or implementing a rural health program in Papua New Guinea, President Clinton and his foundation are making the world a better, stronger, more compassionate, and a healthier place in which to live. It is a lasting legacy we honor and embrace today. President Clinton, as Dean of Columbia University's Mailman School of Public Health, it is my deep honor to introduce you as our commencement speaker and to present to you the 2010 Dean's Distinguished Service Award in recognition of your visionary leadership and enduring commitment to global public health. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome President Bill Clinton.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dean Freed, President Bollinger, Mr. Goldman, Mrs. Mailman. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank the faculty and staff and the students who are graduating for giving me a chance to share this special day. I thank the family and friends who are here who helped the students. I'd like to begin by expressing my personal profound appreciation to the Mailman School for 4 reasons. First of all, you gave me a chance to come see my daughter get a degree. Secondly, Dean Freed's predecessor, Dr. Alan Rosenfield, helped me to establish our HIV/AIDS program around the world. And without the invaluable assistance of the Mailman School, I'm not sure we could have gotten up and going. Thirdly, thank you very much. I became friends with Dr. Rosenfield, and I watched him handle ALS, a disease which has affected other friends of mine and family members of some of my closest friends. And I never saw a man handle his impending end of life with more dignity or make more out of the life that he had left. And Finally, I am very grateful to you for the work that people from the Mailman School did in Haiti immediately after the earthquake and continue to do there for mental health, child protection, and the long-term rebuilding of the healthcare system. I thank all the graduates for your commitment to doing public health work. How public health issues are resolved or left unresolved will shape much of the 21st century. And I want to make 5 simple points today. First, the obvious one, represented by you. The interdependent world of the 21st century is a fascinating place. It is more diverse than ever before, as the crowd attests. There's more access to more information more quickly than ever before. There are more scientific and technological advances coming at us than ever before. Most interesting one recently has been the finding in the treasure trove of genome studies that between 1% and 4% of our genetic makeup was contributed by Neanderthals, our pre-human ancestors. I keep wondering if that will excuse every mistake I made going back to my 4th birthday. I can only say that I was delighted that women as well as men have Neanderthal genes, otherwise the late night comics would have fodder for decades to come. The second point I want to make is that for all of its joys, this world has a lot of challenges, as we all know. The benefits of the modern world fall unevenly among countries and within countries. And people handle being on the short end of the benefits in different ways. I've said in other places, and I might as well say here, I think a lot of the wackiest things that are happening in American politics today really reflect a cry of despair from people who just want all this change to stop so they can find some solid ground to stand on. Virginia, for example, has terrible budget problems. So when the governor of Virginia issued that proclamation to bring back Confederacy Month and didn't mention slavery until prodded to do so, I don't think he suddenly became more racist. I think he was responding to all those people who feel that they have no solid ground to stand on, and so they're saying, stop the world, I want to get off, I want to go back to some time when I was in control of something. The problem with that approach is you can't stop the world and you can't get off. And so we have to look honestly at what the challenges are. Essentially, they fall, I believe, into 3 categories. The world is too unequal, it is too unstable, and it is completely unsustainable because of the way we produce and consume energy. And all of those have serious public health implications. If you look at inequality, half the world's people live on less than $2 a day. Before the earthquake, more than 70% of Haitians were living on less than $2 a day. But there are massive public health implications. 1 billion people have no access to clean water. 2.6 billion people have no access to sanitation. 1 billion people go to bed hungry every night. Before the earthquake, Haiti had no national health system. There was an interesting article in the press this week. As you might imagine, I get all the clips worldwide on Haiti and read them every day about how some people are actually getting better health care now from the makeshift hospitals that people like you have gone down to set up than they were before the quake. But there are still massive public health problems there. With the rainy season coming on, Even if no hurricane hits a tent city and blows it down and damages people, there will be puddles of water everywhere in a place that has no adequate sanitation. And every boy or girl with a cut on his or her foot who steps in a puddle of water is at risk of contracting a waterborne disease. 1 in 4 of all deaths on Earth every year come from AIDS, tuberculosis, malaria, and diseases related to dirty water. 80% of the people in the last category are children 5 and under. And I worry about it every day. When the earthquake hit Haiti, 87 metric tons of food had been pre-positioned in El Salvador because the Caribbean is both a hurricane center and an earthquake action area. And the world prepared for that. And that food was a godsend in the beginning. I don't know what we'd have done without it. But I found very quickly that there was no such reserve of sanitation equipment and no reserve production capacity. So we emailed every producer of compost toilets and other traditional sanitation materials in the world and paid for everything we could pay for and got everything we could get there as quick as we could, and there still wasn't enough. And so now there may be a second wave of tragedies in Haiti because of the inequalities of the modern world in healthcare. The world you live in is highly unstable. You see it in the financial crisis, which began here, spread to Europe, spread to Asia, hurt our friends in Latin America. You see it now with the problems of Greece imperiling the European Union and the very idea of the common currency. And now the Federal Reserve has opened a line of credit for European countries because the American stock market is being held down by fears that the contagion could spread here from tiny Greece, part of big Europe, part of the big world. But you also saw it when the SARS epidemic started on mainland China, spread to Hong Kong, turns up in Toronto. And all the perils associated with swine flu, which thank God didn't fully materialize, partly because everybody worked so hard on it. But cases show up in Mexico, and they closed the Fort Worth School District for several weeks. We had a case diagnosed in New York, and total strangers would come up to Hillary and me on the weekends. We were walking in Chappaqua, New York, asking if they could still take their kids to a Broadway play. So the instability of the modern world is manifest in healthcare too, and in many other ways that you all know. And the unsustainability of climate change has enormous public health implications. If the worst calculations prove right and we don't reduce our greenhouse gases by quickly enough, it's estimated that by 2050 we'll have to move at least 100 million people away from coastal cities. We'll lose 50 feet of Manhattan Island. Okay, here, we're in the middle of the island enough, we'll only use 50 feet around. There'll be vast changes in food production patterns with unpredictable consequences. More drying up of fresh water sources when we've already got 1 billion people without access to fresh water. And already you see it in the changes going on in Australia. And ironically, the next hardest countries to be hit, according to the climate models, will be countries least able to handle it, including Afghanistan and Haiti and sub-Saharan Africa. And there are evident consequences now. Last year, for the first time in history, more fish was consumed which was grown by fish farmers than which were found naturally in the oceans, rivers, and lakes of the world. Why? Because the oceans are partly because they're overfished, and partly because increasingly the chemical content of the ocean is changing as they bravely absorb more carbon dioxide and are therefore less able to support large fish populations. And we have no idea often what these fish that are farmed are being fed, all of which will have enormous implications in the future. So if you're in the public health business, you have to ask yourself, what are the public health consequences of inequality and instability and unsustainability? And what is the response? Is it changing a government policy, changing personal behavior, or changing the nature of healthcare delivery? The next point I want to make is that the problems of the modern world are fundamentally different in poor and rich countries. In poor countries, the problem essentially boils down to this. It's a problem of capacity, of systems. There are many different life stories in this class, and doubtless many of you had to overcome great obstacles to get where you are. I'm sure several members of this class are the first person in your family ever to get a degree. Nonetheless, you did have access to systems that brought you to these chairs today. And many of them you take for granted. You'd be shocked that the air conditioning went off, or the lights failed, or the microphone failed, and you couldn't hear a word I'm saying. You just take it for granted. Much of the work I do now is in places in the world where people can take none of this for granted, where people every bit as smart as you, who are willing to work as hard as you have no predictable, beneficial consequence from the acts they take. In those places, the work of public health is system building, so that there are predictable consequences to constructive efforts. And in Haiti, what we're trying to do is not, in healthcare, we're not trying to build back better. In education, we're not trying to build back better. We're really trying to build well for the very first time. They have never had a healthcare system, even though they have two of the finest NGO public health efforts in the world, Partners in Health, headed by Dr. Paul Farmer, and GESCIO, headed by Dr. Bill Papp, which is the oldest AIDS clinic in the world outside the United States. But they've never really had a national health system. Partners in Health and our foundation worked to build one for the first time in Rwanda. And they now have first-class hospitals in every region of the country, satellite clinics, and community health workers trained to go into every village in the country. We're trying to do the same thing in Malawi and Lesotho now. That's what we have to do in Haiti and in many other places throughout the world. President Obama and the Secretary of State have advocated that America change the focus of its aid program to try to help other countries do this. It's really important. My foundation has more than 100 people working in Ethiopia now, because nobody in Ethiopia is going to die of AIDS because of the unavailability of medicine or because the money's not there to pay for it. But they are going to die of AIDS because the country has 80 million people, and 58 million of them live in 60,000 villages of 1,000 or less. And when we began, there were only 700 clinics for those 60,000 villages. So they figured, the Ethiopians, if they build 3,500, everybody will at least be within a day's walk of the clinic. And if they have AIDS or tuberculosis or malaria, at least they can be kept alive. If the women are pregnant, at least they can get some basic maternal care. This is important. They have to build the systems. Now, in the wealthy countries, the problems are just the reverse. We have systems. That's how we grew rich. Our problems are that the systems become impervious to change. They become too rigid. People gain a greater interest in preserving their position within the system than advancing the purpose for which the system was created in the first place. And that's why it was so hard for so long to get health care reform in America. I mean, we're spending 17.2% of GDP on health care to ensure 84% of the people. None of our wealthy competitors spends more than 10.5. Oh, Switzerland's at 11.5, but they're an older population in remote alpine villages with an extremely expensive delivery system. But all the other major countries are between 9 and 10.5% of GDP. That means we spend $1 trillion more on health care than we would spend if we had any other country's system. So some of the people getting $1 trillion wanted, in theory, to insure 100% of the people, but in practice, there was always something wrong with whatever plan was proposed, which is why I'm very glad that we adopted the health care reform bill, even though it isn't perfect and the work has just begun. But the truth is, we have to keep changing. And public health will have a lot to say about that. One of the good things about the bill that almost nobody knows is that Senator Sanders got about $10 billion in there to expand public health clinics. What are they going to do? Are they going to treat the people who still won't have insurance? They're going to treat the immigrants who are here who won't be in the system? Can they do more to provide preventive and primary care at affordable prices to people who want to buy insurance? Should they be able to buy into some plan that the public health clinics will offer? Somebody should be thinking about this. It's a public health issue that can change the rigidity of the system. Look at the obesity problem in America. It's the #1 public health problem in the country. And interestingly enough, it is a problem of prosperity that affects overwhelmingly the unprosperous. That is, obesity is on the other side of the knife edge of hunger. And it becomes a problem in every country that develops an urbanized middle class. It's a big problem in India now. There are more people dying of heart attacks, strokes, and cancers in India than AIDS. The UK and Ireland have national campaigns against childhood obesity. Huge public health problem. Because it is a reflection of what we eat, whether we exercise, the working patterns of parents, how much time they have to buy and prepare food, what kind of food they can afford. And in the case of the United States and in some places, other places, it's also a function of how we produce and market food. These are enormous public health issues. The estimate is that obesity alone already adds $150 billion a year to America's health care bill. I think that's quite conservative. I can't prove it, but I think it's a lot more. So we do a lot of work on this. My foundation has made an agreement with the soft drink people that has reduced by 88% the caloric content of drinks sold in public schools in America. It's just the beginning. But we have to re-examine this issue. And it may be that the way we produce and market our food will have to change. It's a public health issue that can't be dealt with solely with a treatment response. And there are lots of other examples like this, but I think the way we pay for medicine is a public health issue. If we pay for procedure instead of for overall care and wellness, we'll get more procedures whether we get more wellness or not. And we'll run the bill up. All of these things require a public health response. Now, besides the problems of poor countries and the problems of rich countries, there's the whole issue of how they relate to each other and what they do. The Global Fund on AIDS, TB, and Malaria, the PEPFAR program started under President Bush. These were great public health responses. But how we do this really matters. And we're reaching a crisis now. I'm worried about the AIDS effort for the first time in a decade, because the economic crisis means the Global Fund is underfunded so far this year. The United States was asked by countries all over the world to spend more money on building out health systems so we could deal with maternal and child health issues, other basic health issues. But with the budget caps that they got, it leaves less money to increase the PEPFAR program for AIDS and malaria. And the Gates Foundation, which has helped my foundation a lot in subsidizing artemisinin-based malaria drugs in 11 countries in Africa, and I have talked a lot about how we can make the money go further, change the delivery system. These are serious public health problems. Uganda has already had to stop taking new AIDS patients. Think about that. There are now 4 or 5 million people, that I keep getting different numbers, on antiretrovirals in the developing world. Our foundation negotiated low-cost contracts that serve about half of them, including 2/3 of all the kids. But what happens when you're running a country and you're treating 300,000 people and the 301,000th person that shows up is turned away and, in effect, given an end-of-life sentence? How are we going to deal with this? What would you do? It's a public health issue. How about the way we give food aid? There's still a lot of hunger in the world and in the United States. We have record use of food stamps, record use of the food banks. Food banks are out of food in America, but think about the way we give food aid. In the United States, we still say that except in an absolute emergency, the food that we give has to be grown in the United States and shipped on American flagships. We were giving food to Haiti, for example, grown not in the Dominican Republic, but grown in the United States. Canada had the same rule, and a few years ago they started giving half their aid from food in the place closest to the famine or the hunger, which meant the money went further, the food got there quicker, and you supported local agriculture and a more sustainable food environment. We ought to do that. And all the differences I have with President Bush, that's one thing that I agreed with him on, and we were virtually alone in the Republican and the Democratic parties. Nobody in Congress would help us because they were afraid of the farm lobby. We can afford this, and our farmers can afford this. We have a good farm support program. We don't need to do this. We could save 50,000 more lives every year just by changing the way we give food aid. That's a public health issue. And it's something you ought to be heard on. We need the thinking of people who understand public health as we make these excruciatingly difficult decisions about whether to build out a healthcare network or buy more medicine. And keep in mind, when you build out the healthcare network, you're going to have even greater demand for the medicine. Why have the prevention programs in so much of the developing world failed when it comes to AIDS? And can anything be done to make them more effective? There's plenty of money being spent trying to develop an AIDS vaccine or a cure, but we're still not there yet. And until we get there, we have to think about this. Finally, there are lots of other issues that affect multinational development. Clean water. How much of our aid should be given in clean water? And shouldn't it be considered a public health issue? Shouldn't we think about the energy policies we support in other countries in terms of air quality? Whether people are burning kerosene in small huts in developing countries or belching coal in old-fashioned generators, when in much of the developing world it is sunny and hot and windy. While we're trying to put up more solar panels and solar thermal facilities and windmills in America, shouldn't there be an aggressive effort to give that to other people? Hillary announced the other day that the United States was going to try to do something to help the Caribbean become more self-sufficient in energy because our neighbors there have the highest electric rates in the world because they have to import all their energy. Virtually every island in the Caribbean could be completely self-sufficient with solar and wind. Shouldn't we be doing that for public health reasons as well as for economic reasons? These are the kinds of connections that you will have to make in your lifetime if you want the world to work for more people. The final point I want to make is this. Whether you go into the private sector or work for a public agency here or another country or an international agency, or you work for an NGO, you will do public health because there is public health in all of these things we have discussed. And everything you do should be put through the filter that I mentioned. Is it integrating the world or disintegrating the world? Is it promoting the positive forces of interdependence, health, education, well-being, or the negative ones, inequality, instability, unsustainability? If it's doing the former, it's good. If it's doing the latter, it's not. The world your children and grandchildren will live in will be determined by your success in reducing the negative and building up the positive forces of our interdependence. And public health is at the core of every single dramatic issue. One final point on the genome. When we finished sequencing it with the expenditure of a lot of your tax money in 2000, as a political person, the thing I found most interesting was the initial conclusion that from a genomic standpoint, we're all 99.9% the same. And then Craig Benner did another study and said, oh, hold it, we're not, we're only 99.5% the same. Now, all of you know with 3 billion elements in the genome, 0.4% is a significant number. But from a social, political, and philosophical point of view, it's not very much. It means if you look around this crowd, every single difference you can see, from the color of your skin to the color of your eyes, to the shape of your body, to your gender, every non-age-related difference you can see is rooted in somewhere between 0.1% and 0.5% of your whole biological being. And yet everybody spends 90% of their time worrying about the 0.1%. Now, my position is, in the world you're living in, since you can't stop it and you can't get off, and you can't put up walls again, we need to spend a lot more time worrying about the 99.9%. We need to understand that the only way we can appreciate, celebrate, and enhance the impact of our diversity, what is special about us, is to always, always believe that our common humanity matters more. If we do, we'll have good public health policies. And if we do, you will live in the most interesting, prosperous, peaceful, exciting time in human history. Every one of you carries some portion of responsibility to make that happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, President Clinton. And hopefully you could hear me as you walk out the building, that the work that you're doing in my country of Haiti, words cannot describe. Thank you so very much. To present the Teaching Excellence Award and the Early Career Teaching Award, the recipients of whom are chosen by our graduates, I will call on Tian Wu and Sejo Vashi, two of our graduating students who have participated in various student group leadership capacities at the school. We will begin with the presentation of the Teaching Excellence Award.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to announce this year's Teaching Excellence Award recipient, Professor James Culgrove from the Department of Socio-Medical Sciences. Students and colleagues have described Professor Culgrove as compassionate and kind with a genuine concern for students, and a professor who teaches not only public health as it is practiced, but also public health as we think it should be practiced. Moreover, in his Persuasion and Coercion in Public Health course, he clearly demonstrated his passion for teaching by actively engaging his students to reconsider the assumptions and ethics of today's public health practices. And once a month, he would bring delicious baked goods from his very own kitchen. His class was so vibrant and dynamic that students were always eager to be there every Wednesday morning. This clearly shows the kind of remarkable teacher that he is, when we all agree that most graduate students are not morning people. But to truly understand his talents as a professor, you should also know that he has published various articles in top journals, wrote a critically acclaimed book on the history of immunization, and co-authored the first book on the history of public health surveillance to span over 100 years. Indeed, Professor Culgrove embodies both teaching and scholarly excellence. Without a doubt, he's an invaluable part of our Mailman School experience. Please join me again in congratulating Professor Culgrove.
Author and educator William Arthur Ward once noted that the mediocre teacher tells, the good teacher explains, the superior teacher demonstrates, the great teacher inspires. The recipient of the inaugural Early Career Teaching Award, Dr. Martina Pavlikova from the Department of Biostatistics, exemplifies Ward's ode to great teaching. In her Introduction to Biostatistics course, Professor Pavlikova has demonstrated an unwavering commitment to making complex and intimidating material accessible to students of all backgrounds. Her lectures are renowned for not only being clear and concise, but also engaging, humorous, and dare we say fun. For those who require additional help, Professor Pavlikova spends countless hours in her office meeting with them, even on Friday evenings. Her dedication is unequivocal. Always looking to go above and beyond the role of teaching, Professor Pavlikova also has many other areas of expertise, such as weekend planner. She often encourages students to take advantage of the wide array of weekend events in New York, as long as they take their biostatistics notes with them. Some may even describe her as a matchmaker. As one student noted, she not only helped me learn stats, but she helped me find my internal love for it. Her ability to challenge students to apply statistics to other classes and disciplines distinguishes her as a great teacher. One student exclaimed that this first semester course was the first way that I understood the values that Mailman School was teaching me. Echoing that sentiment, another student remarked, "She's motivated me to achieve my dreams and attain all that I desire." Please join me in congratulating Dr. Martina Pavlikova on her contributions and accomplishments.
It is my great honor to recognize two faculty members who received the University Presidential Teaching Awards, Drs. Cushman and Sparrow. Could you please stand? This award is the highest teaching award that can be given to a faculty member at the university. This year, it is a great privilege for the Mailman School to have 2 out of the 5 university recipients to come from our faculty. Congratulations, Dr. Cushman and Sparrow. The student commencement speech, given on behalf of the graduating class, will be presented by Asha Shah.
Good afternoon and welcome, Dean Linda Freed, commencement speaker, President William Jefferson Clinton, who gave a rousing speech earlier, esteemed guests, Mrs. Mailman, esteemed faculty, families, and the graduating students of the Mailman class of 2010. As a medical and public health student, I'm often asked the question, how can a group of diverse individuals of unique backgrounds and experiences work together to serve the needs of our communities? The answer is one that we have collectively discovered over the course of our journey at Mailman. Henceforth, it is this answer that we must carry in our minds and hearts as we begin to define ourselves, our work, and the health of our society. We are a system, an elegant and complex system of values, beliefs, physical interconnectedness, natural processes, and unfathomable depths of discovery. We are integrated, starting from our biology, and we carve a niche for ourselves in the greater society. We suffer, we realize, we apply. We live selflessly, and we sacrifice. We are the heart and soul. We are public health. This interdependence between man and society is one that is often ignored in day-to-day business. However, it is this intricate relationship that we, as Mailman graduates, have come to appreciate throughout the course of our studies. We have explored relationships between health and policy, challenged intellectual dogmas, and designed revolutionary practices. We learned from each other's experiences and applied these public health pearls in our unique practice settings. Whether halfway across the world or in the backyard of Washington Heights, we learned how to become advocates for our communities, our patients, and our vision for a better, healthier world. Now, much like the evolution of man, social evolution takes time. It is not unlikely that we will run into obstacles along the way as we define our careers and the health of our society. Great movements of progress characterize today's domestic and international landscapes of public health. the United States is poised to usher in an era of healthcare reform that will place greater responsibility on protecting and preserving the health of our communities. At the same time, everybody from NGOs to the private citizen has donated their time, skills, and resources to healing the wounds and rebuilding the infrastructure of Haiti. As students, we have learned to recognize the challenges presented by our intertwined environments, and we have embraced the responsibility as set forth by Dean Freed to deliver hope and compassion. Over the course of our journey at Mailman, we have learned the value of building relationships and how instrumental these are in shaping how we think about the world and each other. Each of us here today has identified mentors who have inspired us in the classroom and in the field. They have taught us the value of interdisciplinary collaboration and of the great import that communities provide to our work. As we approach the challenges that await us upon our graduation, we must keep in mind the relationships we have forged along our journey. For it is these relationships that will give us the clarity of thought, the appreciation of innovation, and the authority of our approaches in protecting and preserving the health of our communities. In the end, how is it then that a group of diverse individuals of unique backgrounds and experiences can work together to serve the needs of our communities? Quite simply, through a shared foundation, enriched and inspired by our colleagues, parents, faculty, and esteemed guests hosted by this university. With the appreciation and understanding of the interdependence shared between man and society, we become the very existence, the heart and soul of public health. Moving forward, we become living proof for a better tomorrow. Congratulations and best wishes to the Mailman class of 2010. Thank you.
Earlier today, we held a student awards ceremony and reception in recognition of excellence in scholarship and service. I would like to call your attention to the list of outstanding students who received these awards, which is located in your program. Congratulations to all the awardees. Now for the moment of the most expensive ticket in town. Dean Lapp and I will present the candidates for graduation. To assist with the presentation, we have asked Lillian Morales and Charles Liriano from the Office of Student Affairs to join us. It is our privilege today to present to Dean Freed candidates for the degrees of Master of Public Health and Master of Science in Public Health. We will first present the Master of Public Health graduates. Dean Freed, I am pleased to present to you candidates for the degree of Master of Public Health. Eleanor Adams. Catherine Ade Manu. Andrea Aduna. Nupar Agrawal. Mauricio Aguayo. Falashade Ajayi. Eva Aklamati. Sonia Alam. Saida Aisha Ali. Sunil Amin. Derek Anderson. Phoebe Arde Aqua. Teresa Argandesi. Vanessa Arnedo. Alicia Atwood. Gangadip Babra. Cyrus Badshaw. Lauren Daly. Sumara Baksh. Sharantan Banerjee. Suchi Bansal. Catherine Barong. Anna Barry Jester. Colin Baines. Alexandra Belcher. Ariana Bennett. Lena Ballero. Sonali Balotkar. Edna Bonom. Natasha Borrero. Ann Bozak. Carolina Bravo. Catherine Britton. Kevin Brummett. Kirby Bumpus. Benjamin Bynum. Angela Campbell. Amy Cannon. Jesse Carr. Caitlin Chardonnette. Michelle Chow. Polly Chen. Judy Chang. Miku Chang. Jason Chertoff. Diana Childs. Jennifer Kianta. Michelle Cohen. Christina Cool. Vivian Cortez. Kristen Kosmelling. Amanda Crane. Tegan Culler. Emily Dawson. Jessica DeMulder. Marianne DeWitt. Emily Donaldson. Danielle Drimmer. Carolyn Eberly. Joshua Ehrlich. Gwen Elwood. Claire Espy. Tina Fan. Amanda Farr. Meredith Ferrante. Marianne Feeback. Simona Fish. John Flores. Orna Gaffney. Gina Gambone. Darian Garcia. Tiffany Garcia. Jesse Gass. Sega Gebriesus. Richard Gill. Elena Globlina. Madeline Gondek Brown. Giselle Gopez. Rebecca Gordon. Sherry Grace. Monica Janeski. Jacqueline Guerrero. Jyoti Gupta. Akiwa Jamira. Jungwen Hao. David Hansen. Norma Alicia Allo. Catherine Hensel. Susan Huraki. Christina Hope. Elizabeth Hornyak. Julie Haupt. Melody Show. Amy Huber. Craig Hutchinson. Nicole Eney. Zara Ismail. Ruby Jane. Shelby Juergens, Darren Jackson, Ann Johnston, Judith Kane, Yuki Kanado, Justin Kang, Annie Cow, Sarah Kaplan Levinson, Colleen Kapsumalis, Timothy Kang, Isla Khan, Miriad Khorasani, Tanya Kubchandani, Leah Kiefer, Tae-Soo Shan Kim, Tae-Jin Kim, Lori King, Jeffrey Kenyon, Asmara Knighton, Sunita Krishnareddy, Sanasi Kulkarni, Jason Kwong, Alicia Lakani, Gabrielle Lamurel, Simone Lawson, Simon Lee, David Lee, Margaret Leggett, Logan Leinster, Valerie Lumen, Chelsea Leruth, Januska Leskai, Zoe Liberman, Marielle Lifshitz, Laura Latunya, Lisa Lezata, Meredith Loth, Oneke Lundi de Cruz, Emily Magid, Joanne Mai, Gregory Mack, Jennifer Mall, Robin Forrestal Mangini, Peter Mayang, Sonia Marcus, Jessica Mark, Diana Marte, Maria Martin, Anne McNallen, Daisha McPherson, Yolanda Mirabali, Ravi Mishra, Jovan Mitchell, Sarah Marajai, Daniela Morales, Lauren Muirhead, Maureen Murphy, Kathleen Meyer, Stephanie Myers, Shafali Nath, Gretchen Nelson, Amy Newelt, Nivedita Niyogi, Victoria Nojuku, Sean Nowicki, Irene Insia, Maria O'Brien, Francesca Okoli, Andre Olivier, Tyler Ostrander, Allison Pack, Sangwoo Pack, Arthur Panov, Maria Papadumitriou, Christina Paranello,
Lily Pouzan, Julie Pearson, Jennifer Pear, Christina Persad, Francois Picard, Jesse Pinkoff, Christopher Patosha, Seth Prinz, Angela Poulin, Anne Quante, Veena Raghuvan, Surya Ram, Michael Reineman, Caitlin Reiner, Elizabeth Reynolds, Brennan Rhodes, Siobhan Riley, Brittany Robinson, Joelle Robinson, Rita Rodriguez, Christine Roman, Aria Rose, Meredith Rossi, Laura Rutner, Caitlin Ruth Rias. Hiva Jasmine Sadat Mont. Mandana Mandy Sahidi. Niyi Yeli Saldana. Jonathan Salud. Laura Salvatera. Mami Sampang. Jessica Sanford. Suman Suran. Sarah Shub. Jennifer Schwieger. Ami Scott. Kimberly Seaback. Brenda Siana. Asha Shah. Swati Sharma. Shaky Sherpa. Rivka Schulzen. Laura Schulman. Manisha Sijaputi. Josie Silverman. Kathleen Bernadette Simmons. Erica Simmons. Amy Slekta. Amber Sliger. Jacek Slovkowski. Emily Smirgal. Dana Smiles. Emily Smith. Aaron Schneider. Naomi Sorkin. Eleni Suliopolis. Lindsay Spiros. Bridget Staley. Christine Tapula. Caitlin Sweeney. Megan Swar. Tamar Taggart. Melissa Tan. Andrea Monique Thomas. Naila Thompson. LaShondra Thornton. Shruti Tiwari. Kudzai Anupama Torgal. Shirley Torho. Danielle Tracy. Victoria Trinis. Anne Tu. Sunny Upal. Sejal Vashi. Julia Vishnavetsky. Caroline Wallace. Lauren Walsh. Andrew Wang. Ellen Webb. Scott Weber. Aaron Wheeler. Amber Whitster. Allison Whitehead. Jennifer Wu. Tian Wu. Rebecca Yao. John Ezra Young. Ihan Yurek. Aki Yoshino. And last on the list, but first to lead, Ti Zhao. Dean Freed, I present to you the candidates for Master of Science. Royalche Lei. Arman Alchiltanal. Un Bo. Anthony Bizio. Sabine Bull-Slayman. Kristen Kazaza. Todd Case. Kathleen Friel. Benjamin Frisch. Anjali Ganda. Zhuang Ha. Alexander Iraban. Snaha Jacobs. Samna Gina. Vidahe Jobin Putra. Benjamin Lebowal. Leonard Lieberman. Ashutosh Mishra. Sean O'Mahony. Ernest Poe. Amanda Pong. Richard Smealy. Laura Snell. Elizabeth Verna. Julio Vieira. Shunfei Wang. And last on the list, and also first to lead, Jin Wei.
The School of Public Health collaborates with the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences to offer the PhD degree in Biostatistics, Environmental Health Sciences, Epidemiology, and Social Medical Sciences. These graduates participate in a convocation ceremony at the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences, but we are pleased that several of them have been able to join us here today. They are important members of our school, and we honor their achievements. The chairs of our departments who offer doctoral degrees will now present their candidates for the degrees of Doctor of Public Health and Doctor of Philosophy. Dr. Andrew Davidson, Executive Vice Dean, will hood the candidates. We begin with Biostatistics with Dr. Bruce Levin.
I will now present to Dean Freed the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Public Health in the Department of Biostatistics. Richard J. Cow. I will now present to Dean Freed the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the Department of Biostatistics. Rositsa Borislavova Dimova. Xing Mern Lee.
Dean Freed, it is my honor to present to you the candidates for Doctor of Philosophy in the Department of Environmental Health Sciences. Yongfei She. Satter Shui Ling Zhuang. Igor Shuriak.
Dean Freed, it's my pleasure and honor to introduce the candidates for Doctor of Philosophy in Epidemiology. Sarah Bronstein. Heidi Greenberger. This might take a while. Ann Madsen. Dana March. and Vivian Santiago Colon.
Dean Freed, it is my distinct honor and pleasure to introduce the candidates for Doctor of Public Health from the Department of Health Policy and Management, Catherine Rowe.
Dean Freed, it's my privilege to present to you the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Public Health in the Department of Socio-Medical Sciences. Karen Rocio Flores. Alicia Lukachko, pardon me. Faith Miller Setti. Jennifer Pierre. Azure Thompson. Dean Freed, it is now my honor to present to you the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Socio-Medical Sciences. Ashley Fox. Benjamin Mason Meyer. And the person with the most patience in the room, Alicia Peters.
Well, what a fabulous, fabulous class of graduates. We are so proud of you. For everyone here who has looked on with great pride at your accomplishments, and there are so many of us, we congratulate you. Now, before we conclude our ceremony, we have one more ceremony to complete, and that is to affirm our commitment as public health professionals by reading together the public health oath found in the last pages of your program. The oath is but one of many innovations of the Mailman School of Public Health in its nearly 90 years of history. The oath was developed by a group of Mailman School faculty members and students across the school. It was written to express the ideals and the professional commitments that all of us in public health hold dear. Today is the ideal opportunity for us to join and read together what has become an annual part of our public health commencement ceremony. To our graduates, faculty, and alumni, I ask that you please stand and join me in reading the public health oath. Health is a human right. The public health community exists to safeguard that right. I believe it is a defining element of a civil society. Public health represents the collective actions necessary to protect the health of all people. Through prevention, science, and practice, we can accomplish this goal. As a public health professional, guided by these principles, I declare the following. I will work to ensure that people have the chance to live full and productive lives, free from avoidable disease and disability, and supported in their pursuit of physical, mental, and social well-being. I will hold myself to the highest ethics, standards, values, and responsibilities as I move forward the science and practice of public health. I will respect the rights, values, beliefs, and cultures of those individuals and communities with whom I work. I will rely on evidence to support my decisions and actions and translate that evidence into policies and programs that improve health for all. I will add to the body of research and knowledge and share my discoveries freely. I will continuously seek new information and be open to ideas that can better protect and promote the health of populations. I will advance health literacy for all and seek equity and justice for vulnerable populations. With this oath, I commit to the ideals and mission of public health. With the reading of this public health oath, we conclude our wonderful commencement ceremonies and cheer our graduates as they commence the next stages of their careers. Congratulations. This marks the conclusion of this year's commencement ceremony. I hope you all will join us in celebrating the fabulous achievements of these graduates and the completion of a very exciting academic year at a reception to be held on this floor of the Armory, just beyond the edge of our ceremony area. We ask that all guests please remain seated until our faculty and graduates have recessed. Graduates, please remain where you are until you are directed by the ushers to recess after the faculty recession. Thank you again, and congratulations.